I enjoy every single race, just loving what I do.
I think he's in the form of his life at the moment. The way he's driving the car, he's got it right on the edge. It's great to see.
Vaulting up 2-1.
This is silly, Seb, come on.
Wow, what racing this is! Here comes Vettel. Sebastian Vettel wins in Canada for the first time. Vettel in trouble. Vettel wins in Germany. The first time he's won his home Grand Prix. And Sebastian Vettel wins in Japan.
Ichiban, yes, boys.
Sebastian Vettel is the 2013 World Champion.
Brilliant, brilliant drive. You join the greats. You did it! Yes! Yes!
I'm obviously happy for Sebastian winning his fourth title in a row. Being only 26 years old, it's a great achievement, and I'm very proud of him because I know him since he is a little boy. We're good friends. We just spoke some days ago, and I cross the fingers for many more to come.
But the boy wonder of 2010 has become the man for 4 seasons.
4 World Championships, 53 wins and 58 pole positions. Sebastian Vettel has been there and done what any driver would aspire to do before they enter Formula One. But despite achieving so much, he stands at a crossroads right now as a new phase of his career begins in 2021 with Aston Martin. What Vettel does during his stay at Aston Martin could ultimately define the German's legacy in Formula One. Sebastian Vettel's Formula One career can be divided into 2 phases. The first phase would be the time with Red Bull, where the youngster graduated from Toro Rosso to the senior team and started competing for the title straight away in 2009. He would go on to become a 4-time world champion with Red Bull and in the process become the youngest ever Formula One world champion. During the period from 2009 to 2013, Vettel morphed from a prospect to a top-tier driver that would rarely make mistakes throughout the race weekend. He fought back from adversities in 2010 when his car broke down multiple times while leading the race to still win the championship in the last round of the season. Once he did that, he never looked back and won the title in the next 3 years. During this period, Vettel amassed pole positions and race victories with such metronomic consistency that comparisons were being drawn with Michael Schumacher, his idol. By the end of 2013, Sebastian Vettel was a 4-time world champion and many considered him to be the best driver on the grid, a grid that had Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, and Kimi Raikkonen as former world champions. After 2013, this was the point where the second phase of Vettel's career began. Sebastian Vettel, a purist by heart, was never a fan of Formula One moving from the V8 engine to the V6 turbos. 2014 was the year that marked a switch to V6 turbos and it turned the form book on its head. Red Bull was no more the dominant force and Mercedes took over in every aspect as the most dominant force in Formula One. A new era had begun that was dominated by the engines, and Red Bull, having Renault as the engine supplier, was heavily compromised. While Mercedes had the engines which were the class of the field, the Renault engines were not even in the same ballpark. With no chance of even fighting for the title and getting outshined by his teammate Daniel Ricciardo again and again, Vettel appeared distant and disillusioned in his own team, and to the surprise of many, announced a move to Ferrari for the 2015 season. The allure of Ferrari is hard to resist for any driver on the grid, but the move did come as a shock as Vettel and Red Bull had spent the better part of the decade dominating the grid. Vettel moved to Ferrari knowing it was going to be a long-term project and with the dreams of emulating what his idol Michael Schumacher had done in the Scarlet Colors. The start was promising as Vettel would win just his second race with Scuderia at Malaysia and was a regular podium contender. The breakthrough win, though, did come in 2015 Singapore, where Sebastian Vettel dominated the weekend by putting the car on pole and getting the win in the night race. It wasn't until 2017 and 2018 that the Ferrari was a regular contender for victories as Vettel went head-to-head with Hamilton for the title. The battle was neck and neck between the two teams, but in both the seasons, Hamilton would pull away in the second half of the season while the Ferrari-Vettel combination would implode. The most significant moment has to be the time when Vettel crashed out of the lead at Hockenheim in 2018, effectively handing over the lead to Hamilton, who never looked back. It was during this time that another side of Vettel came to the fore, a side that portrayed him as a crash-prone driver just not capable enough in the wheel-to-wheel combat. Some of it was put down to the desperation of the title fight in a car that was just not on the level of Mercedes. Some of it was put down to the incapabilities of the Ferrari management, but the bulk of it came to the driver who was considered to be incapable to take the fight to the Lewis-Mercedes combo. Vettel was criticized for his driving, and the famed Tifosi turned on him. Things became worse in 2019 as the young pretender in Charles Leclerc got the jump on Vettel and outscored him in his very first season in the team. By 2020, Vettel was shown the door by Ferrari as the Scuderia put all its eggs in the Charles Leclerc basket. In many ways, Sebastian Vettel of 2020 just didn't look the same. On-track shenanigans aside, Vettel outside the car was just not the same person. The talk of winning a championship was not at the top of his mind whenever a camera was put in front of him. He openly admitted failure in not being able to achieve a championship with Ferrari and just didn't look like someone who was particularly upbeat about the future. The Sebastian Vettel of 2014, on the other hand, who had just lost to Daniel Ricciardo, was upbeat and looking to turn things around and win with Ferrari. Vettel in 2020 almost looked defeated as he conceded that Charles Leclerc was driving better than he was, and there weren't too many conversations around mounting a championship challenge again. The failure at Ferrari was not entirely Vettel's fault, although he does take a portion of the blame. But what his stint at Ferrari has done is that it has dropped Vettel from the pedestal that he was on when he joined Ferrari. Vettel, when he joined Ferrari, was considered among the best drivers on the grid. Right now, it would be tough to even put him among the top 5 drivers of the grid. In 2020, there was a real possibility of Sebastian Vettel not getting a drive for the 2021 season until Aston Martin came into the picture and wanted a 4-time world champion driving their car. Sebastian Vettel's legacy has been tarnished heavily by his stint at Ferrari. More than that, it seems to have taken a toll on him mentally. If the Sebastian Vettel that drove for Ferrari in 2020 turns up for Aston Martin, then it just won't look good for the German and his legacy. Many people have questioned his Red Bull stint as the one where he was just driving the best car on the grid with a weak teammate. If it doesn't improve, then the belief would only get stronger. But if Vettel can reignite the old flame and turn back the clock to what he was at Red Bull, then he can prove that the failure at Ferrari was not entirely his own doing. At 34, Sebastian Vettel's legacy in Formula One is at a crossroads. If he does well with Aston Martin, he would go down as one of the greats of the sport. If he doesn't, then he might end up tarnishing his own legacy even further. History might not be so kind to him in that case. Now, these were my views. Do share what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you.